After my first week of iRacing, Skip Barber, I decided to carry on, and the next venue was Detroit, Belle Isle, and it was my first race. And I qualified quite nicely. I was in the top 5 or 6, and off to the pretty good start. Pings were great. That's the important thing. Is I always felt that when I have good pings, I have good races, and so it looked really good. The guys were well behaved. I didn't know what was really happening behind me, but in retrospect, it looked like it was all good. So this is iRacing start at its very best. You can't fault it. The driving. Spent several laps with this guy dicing, and there were 3 or 4 of us at one stage, and it was good. But then I got over ambitious. Boom! I hit the wall and took this guy out, and it was just totally my mistake. Okay, totally my mistake. I missed the apex on the brakes, as you can see coming on here. It was just hairless, and the guy actually anticipated it, but he didn't anticipate me coming across the track. But by then I just lost control. So that was that. So I felt really, really bad, and the verdict, my bad. I put my hands up. Not cool. Okay, next race. Okay, this race I've already done a video of. This was Detroit, Belle Isle again, race 2 in Skippy. Dario Franchitti in the house, and that's me going into this. Was it turn 3 or whatever? Turn 2, because that's it. Yeah, and I got tagged. Maybe my fault. I don't know. After all, it is an IndyCar winner, an IndyCar legend. But anyway, got tagged. My race was done, and I wasn't really happy about it. And I kind of just. Yeah, but look, it was Dario Franchitti, and I think he's probably new to the service at the moment. And the fact that he punted me out, well, so be it. But I thought maybe this Belle Isle also could be a kind of track that, as you say, shit happens even to the best. But the kind of track that would have a lot of attrition and walls. I discovered that Ferrari GT3 Challenge was running at Watkins Glen, one of my favorite tracks. I hopped in, never driven the car really, hate the physics on the GT3 in iRacing, but anyway, got it on the grid and thought, well, let me try and drive this thing and see where we end up. So I was there, sort of like, in the mid-pack, and just was quite actually impressed at this stage, that I was actually even going this far and was so high up the order. So I just kept tagging it because, I know Watkins well. Probably not, I don't even know what split this was, so I didn't really care. I was in a race, and I felt it. And the car just doesn't feel right for me, but, I adapted my style for it, and because I want to race with meets, I want to race with people, I want to race not with AI. And this ticks the boxes, of course, but not in terms of physics for me. But in terms of the racing, this is as good as it gets. It doesn't get better. You're in a race, having a ton of fun. And it felt good, and I was just, wow, this is cool. Maybe there's life after things. Boom, maybe I tagged that guy, I don't know. I think I didn't, because I didn't get any stuff, but then there's mayhem behind me. I didn't get any sort of rating or incident, anything, so I think he lost it by himself. And of course, there was the mayhem behind, which gave me a breather, and I could start pushing. I think I was 3rd or 4th now. And I kind of stayed there for most of the rest of the race. It was exactly what I expected from a race. It's exactly what I expected. Chasing hard. You can't just pull in because you're faster than the AI or whatever. This is human beings, and there we go. I got a 3rd. So this is me on the final lap, and that made me quite happy. It was like, wow, that's pretty cool. A GT3, which I just don't get into the GT3s of iRacing. I just find them very slippery. But as I've always said, you want to play iRacing, you got to play by their rules, So I got 3rd. I was happy with that because of all those factors, Now I'm pumped up with the GT3 challenge. I thought, okay, I got 3rd in my first outing, and I could drive it. I feel, I know Watkins, although, like I said, the car just, I don't like the whole physics thing. But I got in there, I was into the racing, and I thought, okay, this is not a bad start, and suddenly this shit happened. It's okay, boom. Okay, cool. I know, I'm going to go back to the pit garage. No, look at this. I mean, how unrealistic is that? For a realistic sim, I mean, how does my car fly that high? Because there's no sense of weight with these cars, and you feel it when you drive them. Already it's loose here, and you'll see the guy who loses it, he can't understand why he loses it. Neither can I. And then I get punted like this, just makes the whole thing super like crazy. So apart from physics now, I've got this net code that messes up my race. This is the guy who loses it. He had no clue he was going to do. He should not have lost it like that. His car was not that light at that point. And then he goes black, he disappears. And I end up in the pit garage. So I ask myself, I'm pretty fuming at the moment. I'm asking myself, what did I do wrong? Because I'm at a loss, I think 90% of my trouble has been net code or so related. Let's forget about the physics, which are not right. Forget about that. And I'm not alone on that. On the real racing drivers, many of them will agree with what they have to drive with, and have urged iRacing. I've seen letters from proper race drivers telling iRacing is fundamentally flawed. And yeah, the net code is a problem. I get hit from the back. My iRatings just plunge. I mean, maybe I'm the worst iRacer in the world, and I accept that. But maybe there are guys in the same boat as me, and I really would like a solution, because I'd really like to race iRacing. I'd love to do endurance racing. I think the whole concept is good. But as you can see, I'm struggling. I get punted from the back. It's just no fun, and I feel aggravated, and this is not what it's supposed to be. I should have a joy to drive. And unfortunately, I'm from the Grand Prix Legends era, and the netcode they're using is GPL style. I remember this from VROC. If anyone knows what VROC's about, they'll know what I'm talking about. Lobbies where you got on and you experienced this netcode. But that was 30 years ago, so it was acceptable. It's not acceptable now. I'm sorry. So I've just got to reassess how my third week of iRacing will be. I'm not leaving the service, but I'm going to have to reassess. Thanks for listening, guys. It was a bit of a rant, but what to do?